In 1979, Muhammad Ali died. A funeral was held. Thousands of people cried. There was only one problem. Ali was still alive, and he was watching his own funeral. Los Angeles, California, November 15, 1979, Thursday evening. Muhammad Ali was sitting in his living room watching television. He was 37 years old and going through the most difficult period of his career. He had lost to Larry Holmes. The media had declared him finished. The first symptoms of Parkinson's disease were beginning to show. Ali was depressed during that period. He wouldn't leave the house during the day, wouldn't receive guests. The former champion's brightness had disappeared, replaced by a quiet melancholy. His wife Lonnie constantly tried to encourage him, saying, "You're still Muhammad Ali." But Ali had lost faith in himself. That evening, Ali was tired. Lonnie was preparing dinner in the kitchen. The house was quiet, peaceful. As Ali was changing channels, he stopped. His own photograph was on the news. First, he thought it was a commercial. Curiously, he turned up the volume. One of the greatest names in world sports history, Muhammad Ali, lost his life tonight following a heart attack in Los Angeles. The 37-year-old legendary boxer. Ali froze. He straightened up from his chair, moved closer to the television. Was this a joke? The television announcer was very serious. The news of Muhammad Ali's death has plunged the sports world into mourning. The legendary boxer breathed his last at Los Angeles Cedars-Sinai Hospital today at 6:30 p.m. The funeral ceremony will be held tomorrow at 2 p.m. at St. Monica Church. Ali's heart began beating rapidly. He put his hands to his chest. His heart was beating. He was breathing, but the television was saying he was dead. "Lonnie!" he shouted in panic. "Lonnie, get over here right now!" His wife came running, the pan still in her hand. "What happened, Ali? Why are you shouting?" "Look at this," he said, pointing to the television. "They've killed me!" Lonnie looked at the television. Indeed, Ali's death was being reported. His photographs, important moments from his career, interviews. "How is this possible?" Lonnie said in amazement. "You're standing here. You're talking to me." Ali grabbed the phone. He tried to call his manager, Angelo Dundee. The line was busy. Probably reporters were calling. He tried calling other friends. He couldn't reach anyone. All the lines were busy. Meanwhile, the news continued on television. CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, all the major networks were reporting Ali's death. The announcers' voices were sad. Guests were wiping their eyes. Sports commentators were summarizing Ali's career. Howard Cosell appeared on television, his eyes red. Muhammad Ali wasn't just a boxer, he was saying. He was a phenomenon, a legend, revolutionary. "This is madness," Ali said. "How can they make such a mistake? Tomorrow we'll go and straighten this out." But as the night progressed, a strange idea came to Ali's mind. The television reports continued. People were sharing their memories of him, former opponents, trainers, journalists. Everyone was talking about Ali, and Ali realized that what people were saying was very sincere, very emotional. "Lonnie," he said, "let's go to the funeral tomorrow." Lonnie was surprised. "What? Why?" "I want to attend my own funeral. I want to see, do people really love me, or do they just show respect because I'm famous?" Lonnie objected. "Ali, this is ridiculous. Go call the media. Correct the mistake." But Ali was determined. "No, Lonnie, first I want to see. Nobody will recognize me. I'll wear a mask, put on a hat. I'll just watch. Maybe for the first time in my life I'll learn what people really think." Ali couldn't sleep that night. He kept the television on. Ali News was broadcast throughout the night. Messages came from world leaders. President Carter made a statement. Pelé from Brazil, princes from England sent messages. At 6 in the morning, Ali looked out the window. Journalists were waiting in front of their house. They must have come to confirm the death news. "This will definitely be corrected," Ali thought. "Someone will realize soon." But by noon, nobody had realized. Funeral preparations continued. The next day, November 16th, 1979, afternoon, Ali wore a dark suit, put on a black hat, and wore dark sunglasses. He had grown his beard a bit, looked different. Hundreds of people had gathered in front of St. Monica Church. Ali, together with Lonnie, blended into the crowd. Lonnie had also worn a wig, trying to look different. The scene he saw deeply affected Ali. The church was overflowing. People were crying, Real tears, real pain. People Ali had never met, people he had never encountered, were mourning for him. An elderly black woman was standing next to Ali. She was murmuring through her tears, "God rest his soul, my child. He was our champion. He was our voice. He was our pride." Ali looked at the woman more carefully. He definitely didn't know her. This woman had never met him, never spoken to him. Maybe she had only seen him on television, but it was as if she had lost her closest family member. A young man was talking to his friend. "If Ali hadn't existed, I don't know who I would be today. He showed me what was possible. He showed that a black child could change the world." Another middle-aged white man. "When he opposed Vietnam, he gave me courage too. He taught me to believe in what's right, to pay the price for it." A university student. "I always keep Ali's words in mind. Stand up for your principles, no matter what the consequences." This became my life philosophy. Ali was quietly listening around him. People were talking about him, sharing their memories, and Ali was shocked, because the Ali these people described was not the Ali he knew himself. These people didn't see him just as a boxer. They saw him as a symbol, a hope, a source of inspiration. "I just fought," Ali thought. "I just won matches. What did I do beyond that?" The funeral ceremony began. The priest started speaking. Muhammad Ali was not just an athlete. He became the voice of millions of people. He stood against injustice. He sacrificed everything for his principles. He risked his career, didn't care about wealth, didn't mind prison threats. Ali was listening to the summary of his own life at his own funeral, and what he realized was this: people were talking more about his character than his boxing career. The priest continued, "Ali showed us that being strong is not just about physical strength, but moral strength. When he said, 'I am the greatest,' he meant not just as a boxer, but that he was trying to be the greatest as a human being too." At the ceremony, it was Joe Frazier's turn to speak. Once Ali's greatest enemy, now he was speaking at his funeral. "Muhammad and I were enemies in the ring, but outside the ring, he always treated me with respect. He was a great warrior, not as a boxer, but as a warrior of life." Ali was surprised. Did Frazier really view him with this much respect? A child was talking to his mother. "Mom, did Ali really die?" "Yes, honey. So who will speak for us now? Who will stand against injustice?" This question settled in Ali's heart. Who will speak for us? Was he aware of this responsibility? The ceremony continued. Flowers were laid, prayers were said. Ali was watching his own memorial among the crowd. Then he saw something that changed his life. In the corner of the church stood a young man, maybe 20 years old. He was in a wheelchair. He was crying quietly. Ali approached him. "Excuse me," Ali said, changing his voice. "You seem very affected." The young man looked up. His eyes were red. "Did you know Ali?" Ali hesitated. "I knew him a little." "I'm Marcus," the young man said. "I was in a car accident when I was 10, became paralyzed. The doctors said, 'You'll never walk, don't dream.' Even my family had given up hope," Marcus continued. "Then I heard Ali's story, his opposition to Vietnam, risking his career, believing in what's right, despite everyone, and I understood that you have to fight." "What do you mean?" Ali asked. "Ali showed me what was possible, that great things could be done despite obstacles. Physical barriers weren't the real problem, mental barriers were." Ali fought with everyone, the government, the media, even his own supporters, but he never gave up. Marcus's eyes filled. "Now he's dead, and I don't know how to continue. He was the symbol of hope for me." Ali's heart was breaking. This child had never met him, never seen him, but Ali's life had given meaning to this child's life. "Marcus," Ali said, softening his voice, "Ali didn't die." "What do you mean?" "Ali's spirit didn't die. His message, his inspiration will continue to live. Thanks to people like you. If you carry Ali's message, that means he's still alive." Marcus looked curiously. "Who are you? You speak very deeply." Ali pulled his hat down a little more. "I'm an old friend of Ali's." The ceremony was ending. People began to disperse. Ali walked to the car to return home, but a deep change had occurred within him. In the car, Lonnie asked, "How was it?" "Incredible," Ali said. "I've always seen myself as a boxer, but these people, they see me as something completely different." "As what?" "Hope. For them, I am hope itself, and I wasn't even aware of this." When they returned home, Ali thought for a long time. That night at home, Ali told Lonnie what he had seen. "You? No, Lonnie," he said. "I've always seen myself as a boxer. I defined myself by my successes in the ring, but these people know me by my stance outside the ring. And what will you do now? Ali looked out the window. Outside, the moon was shining. I won't correct this death news yet. Why? Because I saw how much the dead Muhammad Ali was loved. Now I need to show that the living Muhammad Ali deserves this. The next day, the media realized their mistake. There was a source error. The death news was false. Ali was alive. Correction broadcasts were made. Apologies were issued. But it wasn't too late for Ali. What he saw that night had changed him permanently. For the years that followed, Ali behaved completely differently. He focused more on charity work. He cared more about people. He tried to give more hope, to instill courage, because at his own funeral he had understood this. People didn't love him just for his achievements. They loved him for the hope he gave, the courage he showed, the values he defended. Marcus and Ali became close friends from that day on. Marcus never learned that Ali was the mysterious man at the funeral that day, but Ali constantly followed and supported Marcus's life. Marcus finished university, studied law, became a disability rights lawyer. He got married, had children. He established a foundation to help disabled children, and he constantly talked about Ali. Ali showed me what was possible. In 1996, when Ali lit the torch at the Atlanta Olympics, Marcus was there too. They were both crying, for different reasons. Marcus was crying with the happiness of seeing his hero at the top. Ali was crying because he was at the peak of the transformation that had begun that night at his funeral. When Ali really died in 2016, Marcus gave a speech at his funeral. Ali died twice for me, he said. The first time in 1979. That day I understood how important he was. The second time today. Today I lost him forever. Marcus never knew that the death in 1979 was the most important day in Ali's life. Because that day Ali learned that dying can sometimes be more instructive than living. The love he saw at his own funeral showed him what his real mission was, to give hope to people. Ali's death news was a journalist's mistake, but for Ali it became a life-changing experience. Because sometimes wrong news can give the right lessons, and sometimes you need to die, at least on paper, to really start living. Muhammad Ali was reborn that day, not as a boxer, but as a giver of hope. And this birth was much more meaningful than the previous one. This story shows us that sometimes the greatest lessons come from the most unexpected places. Ali learned what his real mission was at his own funeral. Do you ever wonder what people will remember about you? Like Ali's discovery that night, maybe you too would be surprised by the answer. Because sometimes we are not the person we think we are, but the person we are for others is more important. Ali learned this that night, and he lived the rest of his life accordingly. The fake death became real life. The mistaken news became the right direction. And Muhammad Ali, who thought he was just a fighter, discovered he was actually a beacon of hope. That discovery changed not just his life, but the lives of millions who found hope in his story. Sometimes the most profound truths come disguised as mistakes. Sometimes the greatest victories happen when we think we've lost everything. And sometimes, to truly live, we first need to witness our own death. Muhammad Ali did exactly that, and in doing so he found his true purpose.